Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today I will be doing a reading for our Libras, and I wanted to do a reading for the second half of July because we really do have some interesting and exciting things going on in the second half of the month. On July 17th, the North Node moves into Aries. It's been in Taurus for the last 18 months, and now it's going to be moving into Aries. And so your North Node, that is kind of what you're destined to do in this lifetime. What are you meant to accomplish? What do you need to do to move kind of out of your comfort zone, and what should you be aspiring to do and to be? And so Aries is that fire energy. So that's going to help kind of give you that, I guess, boost to move into your authentic self. Be unapologetically you. Overcome your fears. Be proactive. Really sit in that fiery energy. In today's reading, we'll take a look at career, love life, and then your life path or your mission. And we will start out with career. And one of the other things that's happening as well in this month, so when the North Node moves into Aries, your South Node is also going to move into Libra. And your South Node, that is kind of what are you carrying forward with you? So any of that old baggage from past lives, past patterns that are repeating themselves, what's kind of creating those attachments that you need to be able to break free of in order to get some of that personal growth. So in your career space, in the recent past, we have the Five of Pentacles. So that card is kind of that feeling of being out in the cold, that you've been struggling and having some hardship. Maybe for some of you, that's actually a sign, being unemployed. But in the present, with the Four of Wands, that's actually a very good positive card. That's that celebration, the kind of joy and family. In the twin flame world, that's the sign of union. So that's something that maybe you've gotten some successful news recently. And then in the future, this King of Pentacles, that's all about that reliability, that stability. So this is a really great progression here for you, Libra, that you've gone from this kind of bad space, now you're in a good space, and it looks like that's continuing forward into the future for you from a career standpoint. So let's take a look and see what is happening in our love life, in the relationship realm. So in the past, we have our Seven of Pentacles in reverse. The current is the Star. And then the future is the Nine of Swords. So with your Seven of Pentacles in reverse, that is kind of, you're lacking effort and feeling sort of unrewarded. So normally your Seven of Pentacles upright is kind of that growth and being rewarded. But with it being in the reverse, maybe it's been sort of lackluster for you. But in the present, you're sitting in a place of hope and faith and optimism. So with this, the divine is pouring out its blessings on you in the present. And so it's giving you that sense of optimism and hope for the future, with your likely outcome then actually being anxiety and stress. So even though you're optimistic right now and you feel like things are going well, this might be a little bit of a warning that there is going to be some stress. So not necessarily that things aren't going to lead to something happy for you, but it could be that there's going to be some obstacles or some blocks. Maybe you feel like you find the person, but there's things that play out in that relationship that you weren't really expecting. So I would take this as a little bit of a cautionary sign that if you are starting something new, be mindful of the red flags. It looks like you're excited about something, but it may not be exactly what you think it is. So just something to be mindful of. And as always, take only what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Let's take a look at our life path. One of the other things that's happening later this month on July 22nd is Venus is going to be going retrograde in Leo. So remember that retrograde energy, that is something where it calls on you to turn inward and to really examine what still needs to be healed. What do you need to do to move yourself forward in a happier, more fulfilling way? And that Leo energy is that creativity, that self-expression. So that's going to pair up with some of these things. So like when we look at the recent past of your Knight of Cups in reverse, that's kind of that with your life path, that I'll call it bad, bad mood, maybe some disappointment. Maybe you thought you were on your life path, and then something happened and it sort of opened your eyes and you realize, no, that's not really exactly what I thought it was going to be. And so it's kind of making you rethink, what is that path? Is that really the path I was supposed to be on? So in your current space, the devil in reverse is actually about breaking free from that devil energy, that temptation energy. So that's going to be that empowerment and feeling that freedom and independence. So it looks like you were maybe unimpressed or unenthused with where you were before, but you're sitting in a better position now trying to break free from all of that. The one thing though, I guess as a cautionary, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is saying, so you're on your life path, but just be mindful that you don't overspend and create financial issues for you. So some of the times, especially with that Leo energy and that creativity and self-expression, there might be that tendency to get really excited about, I think I found my new path. Like I was disappointed with what I thought it was, but here I have something new. And so then you go put a whole bunch of your resources, whether it's a lot of your time, a lot of your money, into something new, and you may overextend yourself, financially. So it looks like your career is at a good, harmonious, stable point. It looks like it's going to continue that into the future. So just make sure that you're feathering that in with how you're approaching your life path and your mission. And it's a little bit of a similar story here where, right now you're sitting in a place where things are looking good, but there's some cautionary things to think about as the future unfolds. So let's go ahead and pull a couple of oracle cards for you. And this is your Soul Journey oracle card. All right. Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. So if you're in a position where you don't really know what to do and you're kind of going back and forth, really meditate on it, really rely on your intuition. Your intuition is there to help you. And oftentimes we let our ego kind of take charge and start to cloud some of our judgment. And I remember I had read this really interesting book. This was 20 years ago that I read it, so I may not be remembering all of it exactly correctly, but it was called The Gift of Fear. And so that's a little bit different because that was related to your actual physical surroundings. But they said that, if you look at, for example, with deer, if they're walking through the woods and they hear something or they smell something or they see something that doesn't sit right, they will stop. They'll look around, they'll assess the situation, and sometimes just back up. But we as humans will tend to, if we get that feeling, that kind of gut feeling, that gut reaction, then ego mind kicks in. And, a deer never says, oh, you're just being silly, you're overreacting, you heard a story from somebody else, and so your mind is running. They just do what they feel naturally, and they don't let the ego come into play, but humans do. So if you're in that point of indecision, rely on your intuition and don't let your ego mind start chiming in too much and confusing you. So usually if you're able to clear your head and meditate, your soul knows. If you can quiet the chatter around you, your soul knows what direction to go. It's just a matter of, can you hear it over the noise? You know, the ego is the one that's yelling the loudest in the room. And your soul is just whispering. Your intuition is whispering. So you have to quiet the rest of it to be able to hear. All right, let's see what your moon card is. Your dreams need a practical plan. And that kind of goes along here, that if you're sitting here and you're excited, you have that freedom and, you know, you're excited to get going, make sure to have a practical plan so that you don't end up in a situation where you've overspent, or where you're creating financial problems for yourself. So make sure that your dreams need a practical plan, and outline that. And maybe even ask friends or loved ones for some help and guidance and second set of eyes on things before you start a big new endeavor. And let's take a look at your spirit animal. All right. Sea turtle, protection. You are master of finding life's flow. Be in harmony with rhythm and your path will unfold. Persevere and you will succeed. You have everything you need to be protected and happy. So some of this, it's a matter of kind of letting this path unfold, taking your time to think about it, putting together that practical plan. It will unfold. You will be able to get onto that path, but find that flow and you'll be able to reach your happiness. So I hope you found today's message helpful, and I will be doing one for the first part of August at the end of the month. So until then, take only what resonates from this and leave the rest behind. But in the meantime, I'll continue to do the daily polls. So hopefully this has given you some things to think about as we navigate these changes with, the North Node switching, and then also Venus in retrograde with Leo. So I hope you found this to be helpful, and best wishes on your path. Thank you. Until next time.